Hey guys, welcome to the Something About Tuesdays podcast. I'm your host, Phoebe Joy. Join me every other Tuesday for a lighthearted podcast to keep you company while you do your thing. Hey guys, welcome back to Something About Tuesdays, episode 8. I am so excited to be here still. Here we are. It's a new week, a new month. I hope it's been great for you so far. If you cannot tell, this month, this last couple of months has brought the lovely allergies, right? And my poor little voice. I am so sorry in advance if it's not as smooth as normal. I've got some scratch in there. I apologize. The allergies have got a hold of me. I've tried to put off recording in hopes that my voice would get better, but alas, here we are. It's still the same, and I was like, I gotta record at some point. So through thick or thin, guys, here we are. Hopefully it's not too bad, and hopefully it'll clear up some. I'm gonna record this one and see what we get. And if my voice feels better, it's Saturday now. No, what is today? It's Friday now. So it's Friday before the episode comes out. If my voice feels better by a couple of days or sounds better, it feels okay, really. It doesn't hurt at this point. It did hurt at the beginning. But right now I just have this very low, very manly sounding, I'm so sorry, sounding voice. And when I laugh, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to make this a serious episode so that way I don't laugh and my voice doesn't crack, because the more excited I get, the worse it is. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go back and listen to this and be like, wow. Wow. So we'll see. We're gonna record through it. Because I still want to bring it to you. I do want to be consistent, and I might record it again but if you guys hear this, then know that, hey, the voice never did get better. Say a prayer, because if my voice isn't better by now, I'm going to be singing in a couple of days, and I'm going to need my voice by then. But anyway, hi. Welcome back. I'm so glad that you are here. I'm so glad to be here. I have been sick this last week, but overall it's still been a good week. I am officially out of school as far as, for teaching. And I can't say it for teaching, just as the regular school year. It is over. But I did sign up to be a teacher for the summer camp at our school. And so I am teaching for these next couple of weeks. One more week when this comes out, it'll be my last week of teaching. So while I am on summer break, it hasn't officially started yet. At least not for me. I still have to wake up early. I still got a lesson plan, y'all. It hasn't hit me yet, but it's getting closer. I can feel it. I can feel the excitement. I can feel myself already getting lazy and wanting to stay up late. It's kind of funny because this last week, because, I know I'm out of school officially, man, I've stayed up late, but I've still had to get up early. And so I've stayed up late and I've tried to get up early, and it's not good when you're already feeling sick, but there's that part of me that's still like, but it's summer break. I've got to stay up late. I saw a meme somewhere this past week, I think it was today, maybe it was yesterday, where someone had posted, what did it say? It had said, I wish I could remember the exact words, but it had said something along the lines of, I wish I could stay up late, but also get up early. You guys, I have to find it, but it matched me perfectly. Kind of like that one, I think I referenced before, that the quickest that time goes is somewhere between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. Like if you are awake at 10 p.m. and you're up and you're like, let me just do one more thing. The next thing you know, it's like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, what? Wait, what? And that's kind of where I am. But hey, I just got one more week of teaching, and then my summer break can officially start, and I'm pretty pumped about that. So I have a few things that I just want to bring to you guys know. This is just the lighthearted podcast, just me talking, keep you company, just your friend who's dealing with some allergies here. But something I noticed, and how did I figure this out? So I was in a training. I was getting if you're a teacher, you might know, you might have heard of Orton Gilliam. And so I was in the OG training, Orton Gilliam training, and the lady had said the word oh my, I don't even have to say, dawdle. I think it's dawdle. Like if you walk kind of slowly or meander around your, like dawdling. You guys, I realized I have said the word dawdle wrong my entire life. I have always said dwaddle. And you might be thinking, like, what? Okay, so I think the actual way to say it, and I'm going to spell it out, is Dawdle. Dawdle. But the way I've always pronounced it is Dwadle. Dwaddle. Right? And then I think I Googled it and I was like, I think it's actually dawdle. It's not dwaddle. And I was like, I think my entire life, whenever I've used the word, not that I throw it out there that often, but I've pronounced it as dwaddle. I'm like, wait, what? Dwaddle? Dwaddle's not a word? And that reminded me that one of the words that I said wrong, I think my husband had to teach me how to say it correctly, was I would always say finagle. Like you got to finagle a way, figure out a way to do finagle some things around. Finagle. And my husband was like, no, it's finagle. I was like, no, it's not. It's finagle. You guys, it's finagle. I was like, that doesn't make sense. But it's finagle. So I've wondered, are there words or even phrases that you say or you don't know you say wrong, but then one time you figured out, oh my goodness, I've been saying it wrong my entire life. I've seen those articles, like they'll pop up on Facebook or something where it'll say like phrases you've always said wrong. And I pride myself in being like, oh, I've known the correct way to say that, right? Like I know that it's regardless, not irregardless. And I know, different things. Oh, I can't think of the ones, but, what was the one, for instance, one of the ones anyway. So you've seen the articles before, but I've now realized like there's just things you get wrong. And it was kind of funny. And so it makes me wonder what else in my life, what other words am I saying absolutely wrong that maybe other people are saying wrong too. It's kind of that, what's that effect where like everybody has that same memory of something that happened, but it wasn't actually happened. I think that was what was that movie? Was it Shazam? Was that the movie where everybody could have swore that it had Sinbad in it, maybe? But it wasn't called that or something like that. Like just the things that we misremember. It was just kind of funny, but I wrote that down because I was like, oh no. There are words that I am sure I am saying wrong now. And I think, and you guys, confidently, I've said dwaddle. I've said to finagle. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I've just been wrong my whole time. But it's okay. And and this is quickly changing subjects, but I wanted to go back to, I think, it might have been maybe episode 4. It was a few episodes ago. I think it was a couple episodes ago. But I was thinking about how cool it is when someone is showing their skill. So they're either, playing an instrument or singing or something out in public. And when people stop and appreciate and share that skill. And I threw out there, I think I want to do that because we do have, one of our malls has a store where people play piano and like live just throughout the store. And so I went there and I said, okay, here we go. I was with my mom and a good friend of mine, and we're just there shopping. But I was like, I'm going to show this guy that I appreciate his skill. So when we first walked in, it was a young guy. He was at the piano, but I was like, I was nervous, and I was like, I don't know if I can just stop. So we shopped first. We did our shopping and things like that. Well, then I was like, okay, I did say I wanted to do this, and why not? Who's it gonna hurt? What's gonna happen? So Mom went to go sit at a couch that was nearby. It wasn't super close, but it was in the same like lobby area as the pianist. And so I went over there and I sat on the couch because I was like, I don't just want to stand beside him. But when I sat on the couch, I was like, man, it's not facing him or anything. Like he could think that we're listening, but what if he doesn't think it's that, what if he just doesn't realize that we are? And it had switched, by the way. Now it's an older gentleman. I don't know if I said that, but So I said, okay. I said, Mom, I'm going to go stand by him. And she's like, okay, do your thing. You know, I don't care. And so I get up and I try to casually make my way over to him. And I stand kind of off to the back right, like to the side of him, as if I was looking at the music. And he was playing some, I think maybe like a I think the name of it, I remember looked at it, it was something like Midnight something or Moonlight, and it was actually very pretty and very interesting sounding. But so I stood to the back right of him. I was gonna stand kind of right next to him, but my nerves got the best of me, and I said, okay, I think I'm close enough just being to the back right of him. And let me tell you what, first of all, that's nerve wracking because you're kind of stepping outside of that social norm. You're doing something different. I remember in college, back in the day, in one of my classes, we had talked about, it's probably one of my sociology classes, how there's just, the unspoken social norms, such as when you get on an elevator, everybody knows to face the doors, everybody evenly divides themselves in the elevator, right? Like if there's two people, one takes one side, one takes the other. If there's a group, they get together, and then there's distance. And it's these, you don't have to say that. It's just what happens. It's just these social norms. But, you can, and we had to, one of the assignments was to do something that was out of the ordinary. And I remember like that would break a social norm and see what happens and how uncomfortable it makes people feel. And so one of the things that I did that she said we could do was to go in the elevator and to not face the door, but to have our back to the door. Yeah, I know. It was so strange. I did do it. For like 10 to 20 seconds. I think we did have a time frame we were supposed to do it. Man, you talk about awkward and tension. It was so weird when you break those norms. And they're not, obviously it's not like against the law. It's not bad. And sometimes it can bring about good. For example, as I stopped to listen to this gentleman, but it is it is an interesting thing. And it can break things up. I remember one time it was in college again, and I was crossing the street, and when you're in college campus, I mean you just cross the street. You look both ways, definitely, but you cross the street all the time. You just run across, and I remember there was a car. I mean, people were just driving past or whatever, as they should. It was a street, and I remember thinking, you know what? I can capture someone's attention right now. Like I can steal a thought. I said, I want to try to steal a thought. And so when it came time to walk across, I walked and then I kind of stopped, which when you stop, people all of a sudden they're thinking like, what's wrong? What's going on? And then I kept going, but I said, ooh, for a second, I captured their thoughts. I captured their mind. I know. I was all into the psychology, sociology stuff of how all of that works. But I did find it interesting that you can affect other people by your behaviors. Not, hopefully nothing bad or anything, but just by the things that you do. And so back to the story, I was standing next to him, and it was a little awkward because now, others are aware that I'm stopping because there's still other people in the store, and he's maybe a little bit aware that I'm watching him. And I sat there and I got, a couple of minutes of him playing on my phone. I didn't point it at his face. I did turn the video on so I could hear it. But I had it pointing down to the ground. I was not going to, get into a space, and y'all remember what I said, you never know when you're going to be on somebody's camera. And so I did have it pointing to the ground, but I stopped for a little bit. And what was interesting was, of course it was awkward for a moment, but I found that other people started to stop as well. And if they didn't stop, they slowed down. I specifically remember I'm assuming a mother and her son, and they were walking past and they saw me stopping. And so they slowed down and they looked at the pianist and they stopped to listen for a moment, maybe just to see, is it something that we recognize? Is it something we should know? And then they kept going. But like, I found that as people were going past, because I was stopped and standing there, they would slow down a little and take a moment and listen to him. And that just felt cool. Like I just to know that just stopping there, you can change people's like just their moments. I don't want to say like still their thoughts, but you can take them out of kind of the ordinary, out of the expected. Like we go there expecting to shop, you know, but then who goes there thinking, oh, well, I might hear something. I might pay attention to something that I normally wouldn't. And so it was a really cool experience. I would say if you get a chance, if you know of any musicians or anything like that around that just are playing, you know, give them a couple minutes to listen. It's pretty cool. I have to admit, I'd probably be nervous with those who are doing it for money if I didn't have money, because then I'd feel kind of bad, like I'm listening to your music, but I'm not going to give you anything. But if it is a situation where they're just, you know, playing for the enjoyment, it is pretty cool to kind of stop. You might feel awkward at first. It feels so awkward, but I do not regret it at all. And I do think it was a cool experience. So yeah. So along the shopping lines, you guys, this could probably be one of the shopping episode, because I've got a few things to say about shopping. But I'm going to start with going to the grocery store. Just going to the store, and I had another spring win at the store. And really, it's not a spring win. It's just a win, period. And that is when you are driving, you know, you're trying to get there. And I actually don't think this was at the store. I think this was when I was heading to the gym. So I was heading to the gym, and I was trying to get to class on time. Y'all know me. And it was busy. Cars were coming in, pulling in. And y'all, it is like, you know, the angels singing from the heavens above when you pull around and you're right there at the front, and there's a parking spot just open. It's almost like people didn't think there would be anything near the front because it was so busy, so no one bothered to check. And then you just so happen you didn't see it from across the lane. You weren't trying to rush there before anybody else. You were literally just cruising around, just turning the corner just to make it back down. And there is the third from the front parking spot. And I was like, yes. It is such a good feeling to have a great parking spot, at least for me up front. Now, my dad, he's a little different. For whatever reason, and I'm going to have to get him on the podcast so we can talk about this, really talk about anything, but he always parks, like he's one of those who parks like far away from the door. I do not know why. I really do not know why. Maybe he doesn't want people parking around him. I don't know. I'm going to have to ask him that and figure that out. I'll ask him on the cast if I can get him on here, but he's definitely one of those who parks far away. So having a parking spot near the front, it wouldn't be as ideal for him. But for those of us who are usually rushing and trying to get somewhere, then yes, that parking spot in the front is pretty awesome. Of course, if you want to feel like a boss, throwback to last week, if you can just back into that parking spot, even better. It's a pretty good feeling to have that in the front. And so back to the grocery store. So I remember I had to run into the grocery store to pick up just a few things, right? And I go in, and I do this all the time, and I don't know why I haven't learned, but I always feel like, I'm just getting a couple things. I don't need a cart. I don't need a basket. I'm just grabbing a couple things with my hands. Y'all, I'm that person. Y'all, like you can already imagine. Let me grab this. Let me grab that. Oh, I also wanted to grab this. And so I am balancing like 10 items in my hands, and awkward items, not easy stuff, like on up to the front, trying to make it up there because I did not grab a cart or a basket, because I had this false belief that, oh, I can just come out with 2-3 things. And I always come out with handfuls. But you know what? I think that's a good thing, because if I went in with a shopping cart, I might just come out with a shopping cart full of things. So what I see as a weakness and a flaw, it actually might be. It might work for me. It might be a strength after all, right? But with that, so going to the grocery store, I always have more, I believe in myself more than to just grab 2 things than I should. But do you guys ever have those stores that you are kind of nervous to walk out of because you're worried the alarm will go off? I realize that there are a couple of stores that I think like Ross is probably one of them, that I know I haven't stolen anything, right? I know I haven't touched anything. And I think Walmart's one of them for me. But when I walk out, you guys, I get nervous. I'm like, oh my goodness, what if the beep goes off? Because that's happened before. I think I had a purse once that like triggered it. Man, it happened like 3 times in 1 week. I was like, what is going on? And no, I did not have anything stolen in my purse, I promise. But I get nervous sometimes with different stores that like walking out of, and I don't know if it's the ones that have the like the security guards in front of it. I mean, maybe it's those. I haven't paid attention to what they have in common, but some stores I get so nervous, like, and it's a very like unsubstantiated fear. There's an irrational fear. There's no reason to be afraid because one, I'm not stealing anything. But two, even if it did go off, I can simply tell them I'm not stealing anything and it should all be okay. And yet I'm still like, what if they think I'm stealing? What if it goes off and they have to stop me? And like all the nerves come out. And that's happened a couple times this last week, and it's kind of funny to think about. Like, just I should know better, but sometimes we have those irrational fears that we know it's not a big deal, and yet it still bothers us a little bit. But along those same lines, so you remember how I said at the beginning of the episode that I've been staying up late lately, and struggling being that 10 to 6 person. Let me just say that the struggle, I fell off that train, but I will get back on. I will. And we're going to talk about that later too. But so I've been staying up late, and I've realized, y'all, staying up late with a phone, it's always bad news, right? It'll just keep you up later. But staying up late when you have an itch to shop on your phone is really bad news. I'm just thinking about this. Okay. So, and I'm laughing because I'm thinking about my mother as well, because she completely understands this. So, I recently decided to explore the Shein website. I think it's pronounced Shein. Some people say Sheen, some people say Shine. I think it is Shein. But regardless, I recently explored the Shein website, and I got a dress off there a few months ago, and I really loved it. It fits so nice. And I was thankful because I get nervous buying things online, right? Like buying clothes, especially. I can buy some things online and feel pretty comfortable with, like, honestly, it's kind of tough. Like stuff, I can buy stuff online, notebooks, books, sometimes shoes, but clothes for the most part I do like to try on. But Amazon and Shein have been my go-to lately, and it's been terrible. It's been so bad. At night, at past 11 p.m. If it's past 11 p.m., y'all, and I get on Amazon, if I get on anything that costs money, I think I end up buying something. My impulse control, I don't know what it is. My prefrontal cortex is tired or something, but when it's past 11 p.m., I'm like, I think I do want to buy that. Everything that I put in my cart, that most days, during the day I put it in my cart, but I don't click buy now, I just have it in there just to look at later. Y'all, past 11 p.m., I'm looking at it and I'm like, you know what? I think I can do this. Yeah, I want to see what it's like. Boom, bought it. My gym membership, it was 11 something at night, and they were like, the offer lasts till midnight, which they always extend, but they were like, the offer lasts till midnight, and I was like, you know what, this is a good deal. Click, and I bought that. And so a couple of weeks ago, I got on Shein, and I ordered, I think it was like 6 dresses and 2 pairs of shoes, and y'all, I said, click, and I bought it, and I mean, it's been getting me. The shopping bug has been getting me. Amazon. I love Amazon because they get here quick. So I like to buy the stuff from there, and the shipping's free, and it's so easy to return it. And that's what I meant. To return things is easy if that needs to happen. And so I ordered from Shein, and I got my stuff yesterday. But leading up to, it doesn't take too long. It takes maybe about a week, a little over a week maybe, to get here. And there's a fun little feeling when you've got something coming in the mail. Like when that, like, you want to check your phone, you want to check its location, and you're like, oh, it's coming today. Like, there's just a giddy little feeling. It gives you something to look forward to. And y'all know how I feel about having something to look forward to. And I laugh because this is terrible. So I I was so excited and I was so looking forward to getting everything. And I did, and I tried things on, and I'm sending back 2 dresses and both shoes, but I'm keeping 4 of the dresses. And y'all, I was like, oh, I so greatly liked looking forward to having something come in the mail for me. And I loved these dresses. I think I'm gonna do it again. Oh no, I know. And last night, probably at like 1 a.m., I bought some more stuff off Shein. I know. I did. Not as much. I think I only bought 4 dresses this time because my logic was when the other things, get returned and go through, that money's coming back. So really what I bought today or last night was mostly it's free. It's like an exchange. Like I just went ahead and just bought it. So I'd have something to look forward to in a week when I'm done teaching, when my summer break really starts. I mean, come on guys, this is big brain thinking right here. But no, it is fun to have something to look forward to in the mail. And, back in the day, people used to send letters and things, and we've kind of moved past doing that. But I will say, like, ordering things online, there's something to it that is pretty fun, and terrible at the same time, especially Amazon. So Shein, I do have to wait a little, a while to get, and that part is like, but it does, it makes you excited when it gets here. But Amazon, it's just going to be a couple of days. It's like, okay, come on, get here. Just get here. Like, you wish it could get here like the next day. And there are sometimes you can catch those sales. Yeah, that are 1-day ones. And y'all, those catch me too sometimes. I'm like, oh, you can be here today? You can be here tomorrow? Well, I don't know that I need it, but let me go ahead and get it and I can just return it later. I am the queen of ordering things and returning them if I have to. It's funny because my friend and I, she and I shop well together, and she's a friend of mine from church. And when we shop, y'all, we can start like when the stores open until they close, like 10 to 9. I can do it. And I love it when there's like a mission, like we are shopping for a specific event. And then we'll hit up all the places. Like we will try it all. And then we'll buy it too. But if we need to return it that same day, like, okay, I want to see how this looks with that. So I'm going to go ahead and buy it so I can take it out of the store. And I'm going to go try it with that. And if it works, we'll keep it. If it doesn't, we'll return it the same day. I mean, I can do all of that in one day. And I love it, y'all. It's so much fun for me. I know not everybody's like that. In fact, I'm sure very few people are like that. But it is one of my joys. I could totally be a personal shopper for someone, just to add to my list of careers that Miss Phoebe Joy wouldn't mind trying and doing one day. Though for real, I do think one of my top ones is still the like voice actor, not voice actor because I know I'm not that talented, but like the they read the book, the read the book people. What is that? Oh my goodness. But the people who read books, I do think that's still my top one. I know last week I threw out, a couple weeks ago in the last episode, I threw out being a conductor when I was talking about the orchestras and things, because I totally love to direct things. I still do. And even being, a shopping person, I have worked retail before and I really did enjoy it. So I didn't necessarily like the aspect of having to make the sales and trying to convince people to buy things, but I totally loved trying to find that perfect outfit for someone, or just find something, whatever it is that they came in for, or whether they're just casually shopping, to find something that worked for them, to get the whole thing together. I love finding the whole set. Let's get your shirt. Let's get your bottoms. Let's get your shoes. Let's get your accessories. Let's get your purse. Let's get it all together. I love being able to do that. So that's pretty fun too. I think that would also be a personal shopper. That would be a pretty fun job to have as well. But yeah, so that's my shopping and store stuff that's been going on lately. So some kind of random things that I've noticed that are kind of just basic life stuff, right? I've realized that I don't like to walk into dark rooms. And you're like, well, duh, Phoebe, like who likes to walk into dark rooms? But I mean, even if the room, it's not even like dark, like it doesn't have to be nighttime. If the room it can be light outside, but if the room is slightly dark, I will turn on the light to walk across the room. Like our bedroom has like the light switch by the door and then another light switch that goes to our bathroom and closet and things like that. And so, it goes to the bedroom, but it's on the other side of the room. And so I will turn on the light to walk maybe 3 steps, maybe 4, to get to the other side, to turn off the light because I don't need it anymore, to go into the bathroom or go into my closet. And I'm like, I don't know what it is, but why I don't want to walk just a few steps into the dark room. And it's not like we have a lot of stuff in there. In fact, so we just moved into our house like a couple of years ago. And so we still don't have everything we need. Our bedroom set isn't really a set. It's just stuff that we've had before. And so there's not a lot in there. So it's not like I'm going to stub my toe or anything. There is literally nothing obstructing the pathway to get to the other side of the room. And yet I still feel like I have to turn on that light. I don't know if it's out of habit or what, but I do turn it off though once I get to the other side. That's something that my husband has helped me with. Getting married. Once again, we'll be married 10 years next month. Woohoo. Oh no, I can't woohoo my voice. My voice, it won't let me woohoo. Woohoo. Look at that. Oh my goodness, that sounds terrible. Maybe if I do a low woohoo. Woohoo. And now that doesn't sound excited. Anyway, so in our 10 years of marriage, he has lovingly shown me that I should turn off the lights when I'm not in there. And I definitely agree. I know that's something my parents tried to instill in me, but I've just improved and had more chances to get better as I've gotten married and as being married. And so I do turn the lights back off, but that's just something that I noticed. And it is kind of funny that you do things out of habit. I was just listening to one of my podcasts this week, and they were talking about the different ways that people brush their teeth, and they had seen a picture on the internet that had like the different ways. Like, are you a person when you brush your teeth? Do you water your toothbrush, put toothpaste on your toothbrush, and then put water back on your toothbrush, then brush? Or do you just put toothpaste on your toothbrush, then put water on it, and then brush? Or do you just put toothpaste on your brush and brush, which blows my mind. I don't think I could ever do that. But it was funny because on the podcast, most people were like, yeah, we water it, we put toothpaste on it, and then we put water again, and then we brush our teeth. And I was like, we do that. Like, why do we do that? Where did that come from? And they were talking about that. And there was one guy on there who did it different. He says that he just put the toothpaste on there, and then he did I say toothpaste or toothbrush? Well, anyway, so he puts the toothpaste on there and then he puts the water and brushes his teeth. And we were like, what? But at least it's not as crazy as if you just put the toothpaste on there and started brushing your teeth. That's pretty wild. And then we started talking about, I say we because I feel like I'm part of the conversation when it comes to podcasts. But then they started having a conversation about if you use warm water or cold water. And you guys, for the longest, I was a cold water person. I was like, who in the world? I didn't even realize that people brush their teeth with warm water. Like, that didn't even cross my radar. Like, who would brush their teeth with warm water? Kind of find out people do, right? And so I honestly, probably in this last year, I've started using warm water. And I do it because in my brain, I'm like, okay, I put on the cold water, but I put on the hot water while I brush my teeth, because right after I brush my teeth, I'm going to wash my face, and I don't want to wait for the water to warm up before I wash my face. So I do it to kind of like, I don't mind if I brush my teeth with cold or warm water, but I do want to wash my face with warm water. And so I do it to kind of let it build up the heat, so that way I can already have it ready. And so there's that. Just random life stuff, you guys. Y'all know how it is. And by the way, whatever it is that you're doing, keep doing it. You're doing awesome. Thank you so much for bringing me along for the ride. Thank you, friend. Whatever you're doing, you are awesome. You keep doing your thing. So from that, I'm going to jump to... I wrote down field day. So the last week of school, we have field day. And it's just a day, y'all know, where you play games all day. The students can play games and outside games, indoor games, however you want to do it. And usually it's all day. We had ours for a half day this time around. But one of my favorite things about field day is being able to participate in the games with the kids. And y'all, so it was actually our second rotation. It was an obstacle course, and it was a pretty cool obstacle course. Like, they planned it pretty nicely. You had to roll a tire, like run some hula hoops, toss some beanbags in, kick a ball, and then run back to the other side. It was really great. And so all my kids had made it through, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna jump in here. I'm gonna do this thing. So I grabbed one of my kids who I was like, oh, this, one of those kids, it's gonna be fun to do it with. They won't get their feelings hurt, but they'll give you a little bit of competition. So I grabbed him. I said, let's go. And y'all, you remember when I said that I am very enthusiastic about doing sports and athletic type things? I'm just not the athlete. Yeah, that's me. So we roll the tire, we jump the thing. There was a part I forgot to mention. You had to jump over like these pins or these barrels or something. I jumped over that and I twerked something. All I know is that my right hip, I felt like Jacob, like something got touched. It hurt. Jacob before he turned to Israel. Yeah, y'all, something got twisted. And I was like, oh my. And when I say it hurt the rest of the day, I was like, oh, okay. As a reminder, maybe stretch before field day. Maybe don't go so hard. And remember that you are in your 30s, and that in previous field days, maybe, yes, you could have participated full force, but maybe participate in like the bottle flip challenge that we did, or the real life tic-tac-toe game instead of the obstacle course, because you just might hurt yourself. But it was pretty fun. And I do have to say, for anybody and everybody, y'all know how it is. It is so much better to do things, I would say, with others, with kids, than it is to just watch them or even to do things for them. There's something about doing it with them that really builds that relationship and really builds that camaraderie. And it gets you closer. Honestly, I think there should almost be a field day at the beginning of the year as well. I can see why that would be slightly chaotic, because if you do not know the personalities of your kids, you will quickly learn. But just something like that to kind of build those relationships between the students, but also between, the teacher and the students. Let the kids know, like, I can play with you. I can be with you. I know at wellness, sometimes I'll go on the playground with them and I'll climb up the stuff and they're like, what? Miss McGay, hey, what are you doing up here? Why are you going down the slide? And I'll be like, because I want to have fun too. And then they love it. And then they want to play. And you're like, okay, I can only do so much, y'all. Like, I do gotta watch everybody, but it is fun to do things with the kids and to do things with people. Anytime you can get a chance, it's really awesome. And what's kind of funny, so what made me think about this, because, thinking about times with the kids and thinking about building relationships, I had just a sweet moment this past week. And what brought me to this was I was thinking about relationships, and I was thinking about a relationship with God and my relationship with Him, and how just like I do things with my kids, He does things with me. And so this past week, I had a day where it just wasn't going like I hoped. It wasn't going as I planned. I felt like I couldn't measure up to be, the person that I wanted to be. I just, some days you just feel like you're failing at life. It just happens. You do. You're just like, you miss the ball every time. You're like, I can't do it. And I was having one of those moments. And normally I do try to have specific time where I talk to God. But at this point, I took kind of an unexpected moment to talk to God. So it was, I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but it was just, I was like, normally I wouldn't pray right now or, call on God or anything. But I was like, you know what? I felt the urge. And I remember reading once, I had read a book on prayer. And actually I'm currently reading a book on prayer too. It's a new one. It's called The Book on Prayer by Ken. I think his name's Ken, but Brother Gurley. And y'all, it's great so far. But that's not the book I'm referencing. But it said that anytime you feel an urge to talk to God, it's almost as if God is calling you, because, very rarely will your flesh choose to call God and be like, hey, let's talk to Him. Or obviously the devil ain't going to get you to want to talk to Him. So sometimes when you feel that call to pray or to be in tune with God, it's God trying to get your attention. And so in this moment, I felt that, okay, well, maybe I could have an unexpected moment to talk to God. And so I did, just for a minute, just to tell him, you know what, God, I feel like I failed today. Like I just was like, you've been with me the entire day. You've been here. You've seen how I've dropped the ball. You've seen how I, in my brain, haven't measured up to who I want to be and represent, all that I want to be and all that I am. And in that moment, I felt just this glimmer of hope that came from God that I didn't realize up until then that I had been missing that whole day. It was like the things I had looked forward to and the things I was hoping to accomplish, I just didn't have much faith or hope that they would happen or that it was going to take place. That hope just wasn't there. That glimmer of joy wasn't there. And so in that brief, unexpected moment where I said, okay, God, normally I wouldn't talk to you right here. I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I was walking, maybe I was driving. I talk to God a lot when I drive, so I don't think that was it. But at some time I just said, okay, God, this real quick, this is how I'm feeling. I need to do a check-in. And God was right there. And just I felt just that brief, like, I'm here. It'll be okay. You can have some hope. It's all right. And that whole day, I had went that whole day without that. And whether it was, I don't know if it's just because I didn't give God the time or what, but giving him that quick moment, it wasn't long, you guys, literally, it was a moment. I felt like, okay, it's going to be okay. All right. And I felt just enough joy and peace that I could go to bed feeling a little better, because it was towards the end of the day. As I said, I had failed the entire day. It was towards the end of the day, but I felt just enough peace and hope that I was like, okay, I can go to bed with a smile on my face because God knows, he knows, and he's got this. And so I do want to encourage you, man, if you're having one of those days, one, everybody has those days. It does not mean you're a failure. It does not mean that there's no hope for whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. It could just mean that, hey, maybe you just need to take a moment to speak to God for a second and be like, okay, hey, God, it ain't going like I planned. And God will probably be like, yeah, I know. And that's okay. I've got it, and you'll get just a little bit of hope and peace to finish out your day. But anyway, so that was a fantastic moment for me. And one more thing to tie into that, I'm kind of checking my time here, but I did want to say, so we are in June, and so now is when I start thinking about what I call my mid-year resolutions. And kind of connected to that and connected to my sort of needing a quick moment with God to kind of refresh and to feel some peace and some joy again. I was in my car. I think I was in my car. I don't know where I was, but I was on my phone. That's what I was doing. I was on my phone. And for whatever reason, it was not loading any of my apps. I would click on everything. I was trying to check everything and nothing was reloading. I had my bars, I had signal, I had service, I had data, and I was like, why isn't anything loading? And I was getting frustrated because I was trying to check my email, and I was trying to check on the status of my Shein, shipment that was supposed to be coming in, and nothing was loading. And so I was getting frustrated, and I was like, oh my goodness, you know what? I'm going to just turn off my entire phone. I'm going to do a hard reset. And then I remembered, well, actually, I could just turn my data off and then turn it back on again. And I was like, okay, I'll do a soft reset is what I said in my head. And so I turned the data off, gave it 10 seconds, and I turned it back on again. And lo and behold, everything worked nicely. And I was like, you know what? Okay, Phoebe, you do not always have to go to the hard reset. You do not have to shut down everything completely. If you need to, just do a soft reset. And that's kind of what I've been feeling lately. Being sick, it's kind of easy to kind of get down because you don't have the energy to do the things you want to do or you need to do. And so this last week or so, when I've been kind of trying to get over the sickness and things, I've just been oh, I've dropped the ball on this and that. How am I going to catch up on everything? And I said, you know what? I think I just need a soft reset. I'm not going to go hard, because I was ready. I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I need to get my physical stuff together. I'm going to exercise every single day. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to eat right. And then I got sick and I was like, all I want is chocolate and candy and comfort food. But anyway, and so I was like, I'm going to do those things. I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to get stuff done. I'm going to have this summer camp down pat. I'm going to get everything done. And I was ready to do a hard reset, but that did not go well. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to do a soft reset. I'm going to do some things this weekend. In fact, I'm planning to do it. I'll go ahead and tell you, I haven't done it yet. I started it bit by bit. But I'm going to do a soft reset. And I'll let you guys know how it goes. I do think it'll go well, but I said I'm going to do a soft reset. And so what I plan to do is you guys know I've gotten all these clothes. I'm going to clean out my clothes, and I'm going to go through the things that I don't wear anymore, that I don't need, and I'm going to give them away, make room for my new stuff. Whoop, whoop. I think that was part of my reset, by the way, was getting new clothes. But I'm going to, find clothes that I do like, that I feel comfortable in, that I don't think about my weight in all the time, I'm going to do those things. And I am inspired also by my friend. She's moving here soon, and so she's going through her clothes and her closet, and I'm like, yes, that sounds like a great idea. It's summer now. Y'all, I still haven't gotten my summer and spring clothes out yet and traded them with my winter, so I have so much clothes in my closet. It's a mixture of my winter and my summer because I haven't put up anything and officially taken out anything, so it is wild in there. So I plan to organize that this weekend, and I think that'll give me a nice soft reset. I do want to kind of catch up on the things around my house that I need to clean up. And one more thing, I want to clean out my car. Yeah, that's going to be part of my soft reset. I'm going to clean out my car, just take the trash out. You guys, I say this, and please don't think less of me, but back at Christmas, I was given the honor of being able to plan our ladies' Christmas program at church, or Christmas banquet. And y'all, it's June, and I still have Christmas banquet stuff in the backseat of my car. I know. But this weekend, I plan on cleaning it out, even if it takes the next week, because you know what, that's part of the soft reset. I'm not going to go hard. I am still recovering, so I'm going to get what I can done, but I'm going to do these little things that it can help, give me a pick-me-up, those little things that can start making you feel alive again. I am starting to feel better. Like I said, my throat doesn't hurt. It just sounds terrible, and my nose is a little clogged, so those things, hopefully as, the week goes on, they'll clear up and I'll start feeling more like myself. But even with that, being able to, clean out my closet, clean out my car, clean up around the house, something about cleaning things up, it gives you like a refreshing feeling. And y'all, y'all know I don't like to clean. Like, I really do not enjoy it. I do it because I know it's necessary, and I don't, I hate bugs more than I hate cleaning. So I'm definitely going to clean. But there is something refreshing about cleaning up your space and cleaning up your area and cleaning things out and giving yourself that soft reset. Just being like, okay, even if it's just, I'm going to clean out my purse today. Soft reset. I at least have one thing that's clean, or I'm gonna go through this today, or I'm just gonna make sure my car looks clean, or I'm gonna just go through the car wash. Just those little things can kind of help reset you. And the point I was making when I was saying that it's June and we're going into July, so New Year's resolutions back in January, I for the most part do like making them. The last few years, I have to say, they've been very general. My New Year's resolution, I think, for the last 2 years have been to drink more water, sleep more, and to move more. So, exercising, drinking more water, and sleeping better. Those have been my resolutions. But up until then, I've always been one to set some very particular and specific resolutions. And I like to set mine quarterly. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to do quarterly resolutions and things like that. Well, my newest thing is, of course, my New Year's resolution, but now I have what's called my mid-year resolution. And I started this last year where, you know what? It's June/July. It's the second half of the year. It's the summer. For me, being on a school, on a school schedule, it's it's kind of like that halfway point between, okay, that was last year. We're going to be entering a new year in August. So what is something that I want to change or I want to do in this mid-year? So it's been the first 6 months of 2023. Y'all, we're into month number 6 of 2023. That is crazy. But anyway, so those things that maybe, maybe I didn't drink as much water as I wanted to, or maybe I didn't get enough sleep. I'm going to reset my mind and I'm going to, repurpose. I'm going to say, okay, what didn't work? What's going to help me in this next little bit? And I'm going to set me some mid-year resolutions. And I have to admit, they are the same. I still want to sleep more. That's my 10 to 6, which I might make 11 to 7. We'll have to see. But that's, I'm trying to sleep more. I definitely still need to drink more water. And I am starting to exercise a little more. I think I'm getting a little more consistent with my exercise. I've been going to the gym still about once a week. I'm trying to kick it up to maybe 2 or 3 times a week. That would be ideal. But I'm setting my mid-year resolutions. And so I'm going to throw out there on Instagram and also on the Spotify question, like, what is your mid-year resolution? What is something that, okay, you know what, we're halfway in. Maybe you've got something new you want to try. Maybe you've got something you're like, that didn't work, or new plan. I don't feel like doing that. What could be your mid-year resolution? So I do want to kind of leave you with that thought. And then I want to wrap up with the music segment. So I've got a couple of things, music and food. Food will be quick and music will make it quick. But the song that I heard this past week that I just was like, oh, this is a good one. I have 2. I have one song that I was listening to. It's called Finally Home by MercyMe. And it is the perfect song if it's like almost sunset and it's just a lazy car ride home or anywhere and you're not in a rush to go anywhere and the sun is like setting, but it's still light outside and you've got like a nice drive. So maybe somewhere where there's not a lot of traffic, country road, maybe the highway. Y'all, speaking of highway, I love driving the highway at night because there's not a lot of cars at night in the city, because like the city lights are so pretty depending on where you are on the highway, and like just the lights, and then you're just cruising listening to some jamming music. I like my like instrumental, I think Erling is the name of this group that I like to listen to. I don't listen to the songs that have vocals, because I think sometimes there's probably language in there that I don't want to hear. But the instrumental stuff I really enjoy. That's for your nighttime listening. So that's just a random plug in there. But Finally Home by MercyMe. It's a beautiful song. MercyMe is a great band. Listen, if I get Dad on here and I get him to talk about his like top 20 bands, y'all, it'll be like a 3-hour episode. He can go in on all his, what his top bands are. But MercyMe, I think, does make his top 20 bands. And I really do like a lot of their songs, but Finally Home, it's just a good one. It's kind of like acoustic sounding. The lead singer goes into, of course, his beautiful falsetto. Y'all know I like when males can do a good falsetto, and he can do it very well. But that's a great song to listen to. It's called Finally Home. If you are coming home from somewhere and you're lazy riding, pull it up on your phone, listen to it, and it is so nice. Now, I do have to give you a warning. It is a little sad because I think he is referencing seeing his dad in heaven. So if you kind of have any emotions or memories connected to that, it might take you to that place. But it'll be beautiful, okay? So if you want a chance and you want to try, it's very beautiful. Even if it does get you there, it's a lovely song. And the other song is, I got a song suggestion. Yay! I had someone come to me and say, or to send me a song. It's called At the Name. And I was able to listen to it. And I've been listening to it all week. It's been wonderful. It's by UPCI Music, United Pentecostal Church International Music, featuring Brittany Scott, who... Y'all, she's wonderful, and she has an amazing testimony. If you get a chance to listen to it, go listen to her testimony. But it is a great background song to just have on repeat. I had it on repeat in my car because I was like, let me listen to this song that they sent me. And it's a good one to just have back there to just listen to. At any point that you choose to tune into the song, it sounds really good. Like nothing about it is jarring. It's just good. It's just the lyrics are good, the vocalist is good, the music is good, it's a wonderful song. Whenever it comes on, I'm one of those, I'll have songs blasting, right? And then I get out of my car and then I come back in, and without paying attention, it'll start, my musical blast again. And sometimes, depending on what the song is, I'm like, no, what is that? But so far this whole week, every time that's happened, like that song will pop on, and no matter what part, it's like a pleasant, like, oh yeah, it's a pleasant kind of surprise and blasting of the song. So check that out too. That's called At the Name. And thank you to my buddies at church who showed me that song. Love it. Any more song suggestions, once again, feel free to send my way. And then my last thing, so is our food segment. And it's just literally, I wasn't even going to do a food segment this time, but then on my way home today, I stopped by to get me some Pizza Hut, and I opened the box because you got to, check the pizza. And the only thing that came to me is, why is pizza so good? I mean, it looked so good. Just the cheese and the smell, and like the like how it's just melted. And if I love toppings, but my husband, and we're particular, we get pepperoni on everything, half black olives because I love olives and he hates it, and then half jalapeno peppers, which I cannot do because they're so hot. But just even the toppings look good. There was something about, y'all, there's something about Tuesdays, yes, but there's something about pizza too. Like, alternative name for this podcast. If I ever do a spinoff that's a food podcast, something about pizza will be the name, because pizza is amazing. And I don't know why it's so good. I don't know what makes it amazing. I get the stuffed crust. I love it. I love the cheese, maybe because I'm a big cheese person, but it's a great go-to. Like, I can almost all the time be in the mood for pizza. You can be like, hey, you want a pizza? Sure. Yeah, we can do pizza. Pizza sounds great. I think we get it about once a week. For real. But anyway, so yes, feel free to check me out on Instagram. Let me know what your favorite pizza was. Let me know what maybe your resolutions that you've had. And again, I do apologize for my voice. I know it's rough. I will try to, figure out how to edit some things out and to hopefully not make it sound as bad. But thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for tuning in. Again, you guys have been amazing. I'm constantly overwhelmed by the fact that people even care enough to listen and to have me in the background and just to be there, to be hopefully just a positive voice. I'm just a friend to listen to, who can be a place. I've always said, a place for your thoughts to land, just something positive, something light, because sometimes life can get heavy. And so, hey, thank you so much for bringing me along. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to just even try to lighten it up for you a little bit. So yeah, thank you all for listening, and I will see you guys in a couple weeks.